Hello, hello. Let me, like I always do, check to make sure everything is going smooth and running smoothly. It's a good thing I do this too, because yesterday, if you were here, you saw we needed 2 takes. First, to check our connection and see it wasn't going well. Let's see. Here we go. It looks like and sounds like. Let's see. There we go. We are live. Day 4. Looks good. Okay. Welcome to day 4. I must say, I love your enthusiasm. I love the enthusiasm that is going on in this group. It's better than I expected going into it. And I expected a lot, but the live engagement is really great. Your questions are really great. Your participation for the homework and for the assignments and engaging with each other and helping each other. That's wonderful. I love seeing it. And thank you guys. Give yourselves a big pat on the back. Ooh, I watch that. I have to watch how much I move because the camera will flicker and adjust. Okay, here we go. Let's get started. First of all, thank you for joining for another day 4 of the English for 21 Days to Fluency Challenge. I am Jesse. I'm your teacher, your guide, your presenter for this. Okay, but really, type hashtag live if you're watching this live. Type hashtag replay if you're watching this on a replay, because just the engagement really helps with the Facebook algorithm. It lets Facebook know that you're engaged, that my content is helpful, and it will recommend to others, and it will help recommend it to you. You know, if you comment, if you engage, that way, if maybe one day you forget, oh, the challenge, you'll get a notification because Facebook said, hey, you seem to like this content, right? So hashtag live, hashtag replay, and let's get started. We are on day 4. And in case you didn't know, we are on a journey over this 21 days to consistently build a habit so that you can, and a learning system, right? To not only build a habit, but show you what to do in that habit to consistently improve your English fluency with or without a teacher. And some people might say, Jesse, you are a teacher. Why are you trying to have people not learn from a teacher? Well, I'm not trying to have you not be able to learn from a teacher, because obviously, if you do have a good teacher, if you do have a good speaking partner, it's better, right? The problem is a lot of people don't have access to a speaking partner, don't have access to a good teacher or a native teacher, and they don't know how to study, and it turns into an excuse, right? So I'm working on eliminating that excuse to help you be self-sustainable, at least until you get to the point where you do find a teacher. And eventually, let me know if you'd like me to create a training on this towards the end about how to go about finding a language partner and how to have a language partner study time be productive, right? Let me know if you'd like to have a lesson on that one of these days. Also, let me know other specific questions you have, right? Any specific questions, anything I don't that I don't answer here, let me know in the comments below. And also this Friday, I think, day 7, that might be Thursday, day 7, we'll be doing an Ask Me Anything. So any questions you have, anything that I'm not covering thoroughly, or you have any specific questions, be sure you write that down and let me know for day 7, because we're going to be doing a question and answer time. So, but let's get into it. Today's lesson. Get right in. First, let's recap what we've studied so far, what we've done so far. The first day was all about priming your mind, getting your mind ready to learn, getting your mind ready to think of language learning differently, right? Because you're looking inside. What do you want? What do you want to be able to do? Where do you want to go? What kind of material do you like to watch or learn from, right? And a self-belief that you can do that. By the way, and we helped you build a morning routine. Are you still doing your morning routine? Are you still doing the visions, the affirmations, the gratitude when you wake up first thing in the morning? We're on day 4, right? So this isn't, I don't intend for this to be just do these one time, watch the video and then wait for tomorrow's video, right? I don't want that. I want you to watch the video, and the goal is to build a routine, to build a habit, and a sustainable habit that can carry on into 2021. That's why we're doing it, baby. That's why we're doing it. So to build a steady routine. So make sure you're doing that. By the way, comment below. Yes, I have been doing my routine. Yes, I've been steady with doing my routine, or no. And if the answer is no, it's a perfect day to start. It's a reminder, right? Because, at the beginning, building new habits is difficult, right? Building new habits is difficult, and accountability is essential, and consider this your accountability, right? Okay, so also, you've solidified a specific goal. Remember that goal. You put it up on your wall or on your mirror in your bathroom, somewhere where you can see it regularly. You've mapped out a regular English time in your schedule. Remember, consistency is key. Are you still doing that? Do you have it on your calendar, your specific 30 minutes or 60 minutes of your English time, right? Today, we're going to be looking at what to do in that 30 minutes or in that 60 minutes, right? We're going to be creating a structure so you can be more consistent, right? And you've also created a list of content to absorb. Remember, not only English learning, right? Channels like Papa Teach Me, English with Lucy, English, BBC English, like there are a ton of them, right? But don't be restricted into that little box, right? If you have to go back and watch yesterday's training about finding content, then go back and watch it, right? I'm not a big fan of only sticking in that box of English lessons, because if you're stuck there, 5 expressions for this, you're missing a whole world that's outside of here, right? So, and you want something that's motivating for you, right? And remember, we talked about layering your English time, right? And you've identified an intent for your to watch or listen for, right? You want to learn for general understanding, for details, for expressions, for cultural references, things like that, right? So let's get into day 4, how to organize and maximize your study time. I should have written maximize too. I did that in the title. But how to organize your study time to get the most benefit out of it, right? And organizing your study time is all about spending less time actually studying, right? If you do it right, if you have a good plan, it's about using less time studying. I know some of you, spend a lot of time studying, right? In study rooms or in classes, which we call it a point of diminishing returns, And a point of diminishing returns is when you do something good that's helpful, but you do it so much and too much that eventually it's too much and it starts causing negative results, right? A point of diminishing returns. I'm going to write that here. A point of diminishing returns. And let me show this. A point of diminishing returns. It's where you do something good, but then at some point, it starts causing negative results, right? So that's why I don't recommend spending too much time studying, because then you're just filling your brain with information and you're not using it, right? So organizing your time is all about spending less time actually studying to maximize the time you spend to create results, right? That's why we study. Remember, we don't study for information. We study so we can have results. Keep that in mind. What is the result you want? You know, what is the result you want? And you might want to write that down in your, you might want to write that down on your wall too, right? Post that on your wall. What is the result I want? What is the result I want? Write that down and put it on your wall. Put it right next to your computer. Put it right next to your desk. Put it on your bathroom mirror. Put it somewhere so you're always reminded to think about what you want. What is the result of this? Is it just to learn English? Is it just to understand? Maybe. If that is it, you know, don't let me stop you. Or is it to use it? Is it to expand your opportunities? Is it to get a certain job? Is it to open up opportunities into the world? Is it to enter a university? Is it to, what is your desired result? Talk with my family. Talk with friends, meet friends, right? And organizing your time is all about finding the essential language that will help you communicate the way you want to communicate. This is what organizing your time will be. And in the following lessons tomorrow and the future lessons, we're going to talk about how to take out the language, right? But today it's all about organizing your time, right? So let me ask you a question. How long do you spend on your English progress every day? I want you to think about that. If you can, write it down below, right? Write it down below. Write it down below. How much time do you spend on your English progress every day? Let's see if I can take a look at it. Awesome. What's up, guys? What's up, Rolando? What's up, Sabia? What's up, Rania? Who else is here? I know some other of you are here. I don't see your names on there. That means you're not communicating. Okay, but how long do you spend on your English progress? Meaning your English study time. I don't like to use the word study time because I'm not teaching something to study, right? Sometimes it depends on what works for you. The idea of study doesn't work for me because study is like an academic exercise. But we don't want just your English stuck here. We want to bring it here and out, right? We kind of want it. Can you see this? Let me see if you, we kind of want it here, right? You want it to be a part of you. Here's one. I spend too much time, but I keep forgetting what I study. Okay, that is actually very common. That's a very common. Spend so much time. That's like the point of diminishing returns, right? We're going to look at that today. Let's take a look at this. Hey, buddy, I'm doing pretty good. And I spend 2 hours daily, kind of. Okay, the kind of made me laugh. But 2 hours daily, is that something that you, is that something, I didn't know who that, is are the 2 hours daily? Oh, Rolando. Okay. Is the 2 hours daily, is that something that you enjoy, or is it because that's what you feel that you have to do? Because today it's all about maximizing your time to spend less time, right? So that's what we're going to try. I think 2 hours is too much. Depending on where you are in your specific goals, I think 2 hours is too much, to be honest. And you'll see why in a minute. So you don't have to spend a lot of time if you make it real. Make your studying real. Make what you're learning real and applicable to you, right? You also don't have to spend a lot of time if you set a specific goal. You see, if you sit down without a specific goal and you read like a grammar book, right? How do you study? A grammar book, and then you do exercise after exercise. Okay, that's cool, but it's probably not doing too much for your English communication. It's definitely not doing a lot for your motivation and your confidence. And most of language learning is motivation and confidence, right? So you want to sit down and set a specific goal, right? And we're going to look into that today. You don't have to spend a lot of time if you structure your study time and know where you're going. We're going to build a structure today. And you don't have to spend a lot of time if you're consistently making it a part of your life, right? This is kind of why I said 2 hours is too much, because if you sit down and think, oh, I have to sit down and do this for 2 hours. I mean, do you really want to sit down and do anything for 2 hours, especially learn a language? I mean, at some part, it's cool. I'm a language teacher, right? But at some point, we got to actually use it, right? You say, let's see. My plan is to take the GED test. Okay, my plan is to take that, but okay, perfect. That's like a long-term plan. That's where you're working towards. That's great. Write that down. By the way, it's this one. My plan is to take the GED test. Okay, so write that down and put it on your wall. That's your big goal. Right now, next you think about little goals that daily will get you to that goal. Every time you have a study time, every time you sit down to study, I guess, have a specific goal for that 30-minute time or for that hour time. Have a specific goal. We'll talk about that in the next couple slides. Right? And make it a consistent part of your day and your life, right? Remember, we talked about on day 2, I think, organizing and setting up a routine, finding a routine within your chaos. Are you still doing that? Are you still creating your routine? Are you still going by a routine? Whether that's at this time, at this hour, as long as you can, whenever you're studying, whenever you're watching this can be in your study time. Whether you watch it live or the replay, #live, #replay, use this time as your study time. Try to watch this at a consistent time every day. If you watch it live, it is at a consistent time every day. If you watch a replay, try to make it so it's at a consistent time every day. That's what we're doing. I'm trying to build a routine, right? So how to organize and maximize. Let's get into the meat of the lesson. Organize and maximize. So you see a pie chart here, and this is more or less the percentages that I recommend to my clients to use. So you're getting premium information. Set your goal and write it down first. And I put that here because this can be counted in your study time, right? You're sitting down, you're thinking about your goals. So every time when you sit down, think about, what do I want to do today? What results do I want today? Right? And write that down. And I'll show you some specific examples next. Then spend from like 5 to 10 minutes reviewing the expressions and information from yesterday. And I talk about it all the time, to write down your notes, take down notes, write down. You should have a notebook specifically for your English learning, right? Write down in a notebook. And this is how I structure my notes and how I recommend to my clients to structure our notes. We'll talk about note taking tomorrow, but this is how I organize them in 4 parts. And I don't write that many expressions down in each part because less is more. So every day then I'm sitting down and I'm reviewing yesterday's expressions first, right? For 5 to 10 minutes. And then for about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how long your study time is, for about 30%, 40% of the time, 30%, then you're into the main content, right? Then you're watching today's video, listening to today's podcast, watching today's, language series. Does that make sense? Let me turn on this light. It's an overcast day. It's raining today. I usually have the sun coming in, but not today. Not today. Okay, so 35%, 40% is on your main content. It's what you're listening to in your podcast. In the next several lessons, we're going to talk about what to do with those lessons. But for right now, that's your main topic, is what's in the podcast. Then another about 30% is in actually practicing. So reviewing the expressions, thinking of them in different contexts, recording yourself in your phone and uploading in the group if you'd like, or just for yourself, review it, right? Practice. So this is how: set up your goal first, review yesterday's expressions. Second, third, look at the main content, and that's most of your time. And fourth, practice the content, and that's either with recording it in your phone, writing a journal. Journaling is a great mental exercise and language exercise. Journal using the expressions. So any of these ways to help you organize your day, organize your study time. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Yes, I have a notebook. Awesome. How about this one, by the way? My big problem is, how can I talk English without fear with others? Yes, we're gonna talk about that in future trainings. All right. I actually have a training on confidence, speaking English with confidence. Right? And how to improve your confidence with speaking. If you do want that, if you do want access to my training on how to speak English confidently, let me know and I'll get that to you, because it comes down, that's most of people's problem, right? They know it up here, but it doesn't come out because of their confidence issues. And it really comes down to your confidence within yourself, right? So I have an entire 45-minute training on that. I'm not going to get into that right now. If you want that, let me know and I'll get it to you. So like I said, less is more. We have Morpheus here. And imagine you're Neo. What if I told you less is more? Don't spend 2 hours studying, especially if you like it's tiring and exhausting for you. 30 minutes, an hour at the most. And then use the rest of the time to maybe just listen to English. You should always be having English. in the background so you get the rhythm, so you hear these expressions in a more lighter way. I'm talking about your study time, your intense study time. Less is more. Let's see. Anything else right now? Liam, how we can do that? How can we do what? What? How can we do what? I kind of missed when you said, how can we do that? How can we do what? Be a little, I kind of forget what part you were talking about. So let's talk about, we talked about the goals, right? To set your goals. So what do I mean set your goals? Some examples of some specific goals you can have. And I mean per study session, right? You can have your big goal, your GED test, your IELTS test, your job interview. You're talking to clients with more confidence. You're finding friends with more confidence, right? That's your big goal. But I mean, in your study goal, you should also have an objective for each time you sit down with your notebook and with your podcast or with your video and have a goal, right? So some examples you could have, pick out at least blank useful expressions, like 3 or 4. Don't say, remember, less is more. Don't say, I'm going to learn 20 new expressions. No, not 20. Like 4 or 3, right? If you try to learn 20, you're not going to learn any. I promise you. If you try to learn 3, you probably learn 1. And 1 is better than 0 if you own it, if it becomes a part of you. Or if you start saying it and you realize, like, I don't really like this expression, right? Then you throw it away. Another example, find at least, a number of words that I didn't know. Like, again, 2 or 3 that I didn't know. But I don't know a lot. Okay, that's fine. But choose 2 of them or 3 of them at the most, right? We're looking at quality, not quantity. We want to actually absorb it. To understand the main idea, to be able to summarize it in 2 sentences or less. That's a very important thing. If you can summarize something in 2 sentences or less, that means you really understood it. So you don't have to summarize it in 2 paragraphs. Does that make sense? Maybe to sit down to listening or a video and understand the main point, to be able to summarize it in a blog post or in your journal. Maybe you do want to explain it further. It all depends on what you specifically want to do. Maybe one day, understand it to summarize it in 1 or 2 sentences. The next day, watch the same video to summarize it in a longer form post. Right? What I'm trying to do is like break apart, smash that box you're living in. Like just take that, let me see, make sure I'm on the camera. Take that box that you're living in, that English learning box that of studying grammar and vocabulary and using expressions and using example sentences, and just smash it. And open up the world of communication, Some other things. Understand the main idea and be able to draw it in a diagram or design or a picture. I know some of you, Sabia, you're incredible with design, right? Maybe you want to practice your art. Maybe you want to practice what you do. So maybe watch a video, listen to a podcast, and draw your interpretation of it. Because guess what? Then you're really understanding it. If you can draw your interpretation of what you're listening to, maybe sing it in a song, if that's your mode of creativity, maybe write it down in a poem, maybe write it down in a journal, whatever, like release it in a different form. That might be cool. To be able to explain the contents to another person, right? You watch a video and maybe you'd want to be able to explain this to another person in a simple way. You know, a lot of the times it's a big cop out. We call it a cop out, an excuse to not do something. Say, oh, I'll send you the link. You have to listen to it. That's cool, but it decreases the communication. It decreases conversation, human interaction. Oh, I'll send you the link. Well, no. What if you had to actually explain what you heard to another person? You know, we're having coffee. What did you watch? Oh, I watched this awesome video. It was about, you know, this. Just boom, boom, boom. And that would be a good thing to record yourself saying, right? I watched this video. It was a magic tutorial about how to make a ring disappear and appear on your finger again, right? It was a magic tutorial on how to make a ring appear, disappear, and appear. It was amazing. You know what I mean? So maybe maybe your goal, I want to learn at least one new cultural idiom from here. I want to take, 4 expressions from my audio practice. Again, audio practice. Right? So these are just some examples. Let your mind go crazy, right? Sit down to a goal, test it. Since you're doing this every day you can test out something that works and something that doesn't work. Maybe you don't I know a lot of people, they wouldn't like to write a long form blog post on something they listen to. Well, don't do that, right? Test out what works for you. I do recommend you do the speaking and audio practice, just because if you want to improve your speaking, you've got to speak more, right? So let's get into our homework and let's get going, because we are already over 30 minutes. I like these to be around 30 minutes. So homework number 1, share your regular English time. Remember from day 2, we set out our schedule, right? And I said, find order within the chaos. So whether you have a different schedule on the weekdays, the weekends, whether you travel, I want you to write that below, either in this video or another post, sharing your regular English times, your English study time. So it could be like Monday through Friday from 7 to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday from 3 to 3:30. Because on the weekends I spend less time. Like, that's fine too, right? It's finding the rhythm that works for you. 2, another homework, I want you to write a specific goal you want to work on. And by the way, I mean like a specific goal for a listening activity. What is a typical thing you'd want to work on in a study time? And then for my high levels people, my high level students, write a post or create a short video recommending a special study tip that has worked for you, if you have one. Because I'm not the end all be all. I'm not the answer for everything of language learning. Guess what? You guys have shared some terrific ideas with me. So in another post, in your own post, this I don't want in the comments, write a post or create a short video recommending a special study tip that has worked for you, if you have one. Like, I found that this really works for me, right? Because you guys are all in the same boat. You're all English learners. So you have a distinct perspective that I don't have. And I love learning from that. Okay, so that is it then, guys. That is it for me. So I do that with my friends when learning something new. Awesome. Anything else? Anything else? Any questions? Or can we go? Okay. That's it for me. We've been going for 35 minutes. I'll let you go about your day, do your homework, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you guys, and see you tomorrow. Love you. Bye.